Gonna retry the blue-red dragon deck that we brewed up on stream last week. I've got it a bit updated today. I'm pretty excited for it. Some notable changes. I'm up to 4 Cascade Bluffs. Cascade Bluffs, I think, is pretty important in the deck. If you just draw 1, you can cast your Goldspan Dragon, which is nice, and it also filters Basic Mountain into Archmage's Charm. So like whenever we drew it last week, it just felt like one of the better lands to be on. I'm also trying out Blood Moons in the sideboard. I don't think you want to main deck Blood Moons in this Monastery Swiftspear metagame. I'm also trying out Damping Matrix mostly as a hedge against the Heliod combo deck. I think this card is one of the better sideboard cards against Heliod combo. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Aetos. Keeping this, kind of nice to have Spell Snare on the draw, usually. Good morning, party. Good morning, Cups. Good morning, everybody. Alright, opponent keeps their 6-card hand. Turn 1, Dryad Arbor. So probably playing against either Infect or Yawgmoth. Sadly, we have Magmatic Sinkhole in our hand, not Lightning Bolt. Could be Devotion. Certainly thinking Infect right now. We probably want to get a Sprite Dragon down. It's pretty bad if they're holding on to a Blighted Agent. And it would make some sense for them to have a Blighted Agent here, right? Yeah, it was drawing Silumgar Scorn. I think we're just supposed to keep our mana up. C4, 9 months in a row. Welcome back, buddy. A good shark back to you, sir. Being whacked for 2. I'd love to draw a land here. Did not draw lands. Can maybe Snapcaster to block, though. Although, I guess we're going to discard. Let's just go ahead and play out a dragon. Probably should have attacked with it. Didn't realize we were going to discard. Ever died to a Dryad Arbor? I have, yeah. Sure, a lot of us have. So no Blighted Agent in their hand, which is kind of nice. I think we just play a second dragon and start racing here. I think this is better than going to discard. Feels a bit bad to not have found a land in 4 looks, but whatever. Pindlehaven. I think I'm going to force scale up. Force gets a bit better when it comes along with 2+1 counters. Winter, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. Hope you're having a good day today. Alright, they have a Spell Pierce. Fine, so we're going to hit for 7. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. Wow, 11. Down to 4. Well, if we draw a fetch land, we get to Magmatic Sinkhole, Dryad Arbor, or Archmage's Charm Noble Hierarch. Probably better to Charm Hierarch just to make the Sinkhole a bit cheaper next turn. I think this is a good line. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave one of the dragons back to block. They don't usually play very many unblockable spells. Famous last words, maybe. But this feels like the line at least. Dead to Bolt. Yeah, I really doubt my opponent's playing Lightning Bolt though. Bano, 4 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. If we get to untap here, the game should mostly end, I think. Another copy of Noble Hierarch. So they can make this a 2-3 into 3-4 if they Pindlehaven first. So this is actually a chump block if they Pindlehaven here. Probably good to block. Just making my Magmatic Sinkhole cheaper. Alright, so now we get to go Lightning Bolts, this. Sinkhole the Dryad Arbor. Opponent could have a Mutagenic Growth with this pause. But Mutagenic Growth obviously doesn't save their guy here. And we have actual factual counterspell available. Emma, 4 months in a row. Welcome back, buddy. Hope you're having a good day today. A hype train again to start off the day. Amazing. And looks like we're up a game against Infect. Kind of nice to see Infect back. I don't think it's super well positioned again. There's a lot of decks that are just like not great because the Swift Spears are so dominant. But it's possible you can find some tech for the matchup. I do usually like Blood Moon against Infect. Well, maybe I'll not bring in the full 3. Probably going to trim on the Goldspan Dragons. Kind of hard to have too many 5-mana spells in this matchup. Might collect the 3rd Cryptic for the first Dispute. Although Dispute's not that good. Maybe I'll play Aether Gust actually over like Logic Knot, Silumgar Scorn number 4. Since I'm cutting some dragons. Yeah, Dispute's not all that good. Damping Matrix is for Heliod. It's a card that I think is very good against the Heliod matchup, but not very good against basically anything else. But I think Heliod is on the uptick a bit, so I kind of like having access to some. Maybe I'll play 3 Goldspan Dragons, 2 Cryptics. Yeah, I decided to cut the Niv Mizzets from the sideboard. They were definitely very cool, but you know, it's not like they were unanswerable in the blue matchups or anything like that, and they're 6 mana, only good against like hard control decks. Madcap Experiment into Damping Sphere. Yeah, I will try not to side in both Madcap Experiment and Damping Sphere. I'll do my best. Would 6 CMC Chandra be better? I don't think it would be, no. Actually, I'm very low on the 6 mana Chandra. Sorry, that's my computer, not yours. I'm very low on the 6 mana Chandra. I don't think that card's very good. I feel like whenever it's cast against me, I just beat it all the time. I guess we have to keep this on the draw. Lonely Isotope, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Do appreciate that. Love to see a new subscriber. Is this deck just a sweet meme, or does it have legs? I think it has legs. Silumgar Scorn plays really, really well with Goldspan Dragon. And Sprite Dragon is a good Magic card too. So this is we played this last week. We started off 3-0, then we lost our last 2 matches, but I did like the deck. All right, that's our 3rd land for Blood Moon. Although the Blood Moon Archmage's Charm is something that is giving me a little bit of concern. All right, I'm not going to Scorn this without a dragon just to make them tap the Pindlehaven. It's a pretty good draw, though. So now they're cut off of fetch lands, they're cut off of blue spells, they only have 1 green mana. I suppose this is all assuming they don't have like Natural State or Force of Negation here. Nature's Claim, I guess, is obviously more likely. It is possible that we die here, but with just 1 green mana over there, it feels like very unlikely that we die. Just taking 1 Infect. What's in their hand? I'm not sure. Well, that's a dragon. As you guys can see. Flock of Turtles gifting 5 subs. That's very nice of you. Good morning to you today. I If we play the Sprite Dragon, we kind of open ourselves up to Dismember to turn off the Silumgar Scourge, so I'm gonna just pass. Welcome to Sisa, Thalia, Sleeping Pill, Holland, and RZ Pods. Good morning to everybody. Snap block Scorn. Well, the problem is Blighted Agent cannot be blocked. A fatal flaw in your plan. But we'll probably go Magmatic Sinkhole with Force up on their turn. If we somehow get to Force first, we'll have Scorn up as well. Next out Archmage's Charm because it's going to be hard to flash back because we need to draw exactly another island. Or I guess we could cast it with Goldspan Dragon. If I force, I think I'm pitching Snapcaster. Snakeskin Veil. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control against Hexproof. That card's good. That is a better Ranger's Guile. How did I just not even see this? Just a card that I didn't know existed. What is opponent trying to do? Opponent's playing an Infect deck. It used to be one of the best decks in Modern, now is kind of faded into obscurity. But they play Inkmoth Nexus, Blighted Agent, and Glistener Elf, which are all Infect creatures, and then they use pump spells on them to deal 10 Infect to kill your opponent. What happened to the Naruto sub-music? It's been gone for months and months, but there's a lot of copyright issues on Twitch. Snap Sinkhole doesn't work well. You can delve with Sinkhole, yes. Just kind of hard to sometimes get that many creatures. Or Gust this, I think. Yeah, Snakeskin Veil seems good. I like it. They do put the Hierarch on top, so successful time walk. No 5th land yet. That's fine, I don't need a 5th land. Did I see the Twitch DMCA issue with BlizzCon and Metallica? No, I didn't. I'm not very tuned in. I get all of my news from Twitch chat. This is game 2. I'm not main decking Aether Gust. Or Blood Boon. I'll do it again. It's a deck building anti-synergy to play Delve with Snap. You can afford to play 1 or 2 Delve spells with your Snapcasters. It'll be okay. Alright. What are my ratings of the top 10 decks in Modern right now? I don't have a top 10 list in front of me. Oh, well. Maybe would have forced that. I think it's fine not to. I do not have a top 10 list in front of me, sadly. But I would say that the top 2 decks are Swift Spear variants, including Red-Black Scourge, Blue-Red Prowess, and maybe some mono-red variants. And then Heliod, I would say, are the two best decks in the format. And I'm kind of grouping all the Swift Spear decks together. You don't have to group them together if you don't want to. It's kind of up to your interpretation. And then I think control decks that are targeting specifically those 2 decks are good. I think Titan's good. I think Tron variants are fine. Right, we need them to be on Pact and not Titan, of course, here. No top 10 list. I thought you were a content creator. You could also be on Turntimber Symbiosis. I've got my concession trigger finger on the trigger. I don't know. I mean, they're definitely floating more mana than Primeval Titan. Kind of looks like Turn Timber Symbiosis. Very vulnerable to Force of Negation. Dude, would love to draw like Archmage's Charm, Silumgar Scorn. Not main decking the Blood Moons, so not an option to draw here. We'll take that. That's going to be Logic Knot for 4. At least better than Mana Leak. Might not be enough if they draw a Titan. But certainly better than the average draw. How am I supposed to beat a Boreal Grazer here? It's so frustrating that they draw Grazer in a spot like this. I don't know. Some players just have all the luck, I guess. Fetching Steamens here is kind of nice since it does kind of represent us not having Blood Moon in our deck. It does block. Yeah. I'm not like I am obviously joking there, but it does block the Sprite Dragon. But I was telling a hilarious joke. Yeah, I'd like to see Mox Diamond block. I'd also like to see Mox Diamond do something when you don't have a land in your hand. Can't believe that a Boreal Grazer is, 5 cents and Mox Diamond is like $200. And please, if Mox Diamond is more than $200, please don't tell me because I sold mine a long time ago. $500-ish? Well, I sold mine for like $60, I think. But I also bought it for like 40, so probably bad to lament too much. Please do not show me Cavern of Souls, opponent. My heart can't handle it. Okay, they showed me Summoner's Pact. Alright, I'm not going to play around Cavern. I'm going to let this resolve. Cavern would have to be, they're exactly one unknown card. You sold an LED for 120. I have a friend who gave away a Legacy Dredge deck. My best friend gave a Legacy Dredge deck to one of our friends with 4 LEDs in it. But I also know he doesn't regret doing that. But what a flex, right? So hopefully we can kind of show off the payoff for playing this deck. Scorn plus Dragon just like turns this into a 3-mana spell. Yeah, Grazer has reach. Pretty good, right? Yeah, I like Goldspan Dragon too. Goldspan Dragon's a cool card. The card kind of got put on my radar. I mean, we were talking about it in chat. I wasn't sure about it, but I saw Harry MTG play with it a bit, and I was like, this seems like it's got potential, but you really want to counterspell with it. And luckily, Silumgar Scorn literally counterspell. Really no difference between Silumgar Scorn and counterspell. Ah! So that was the one unknown. You luckily have foil Silumgar Scorn? Hell yeah. IDK looks like Force Spike. Force Spike is also literally counterspell. There's no difference. I think I'm using Silumgar Scorn here since I don't really want to exile my Cryptic Command. And remember, if you have a dragon in play, it's still counterspell. Yeah. You started watching your stream after playing EDH for the past 6 months. Seeing interactive gameplay made me hungry for 60 cards, so I went and bought Bant, Stoneblade, and Paper, minus the lands. Any tips for new modern... My tips for new modern players are to play as much as you can. Really enjoy your time playing. And how I always learn new decks is I just make a ton of mistakes until I understand what I'm doing. And that's my advice to you, is to just make a lot of mistakes until you understand what you're doing. I think I'm going to play a Sinkhole over a Bolt, because it can kill Dryad. Bolt doesn't really kill too much besides Azusa and Grazer. And like killing those things is not really what this matchup's about, I think. Yeah, you watch other people play, decks that you're interested in, learn from them, but I think the best way to get better is to play and try to, understand why you're taking the lines you're taking, try to figure out the best lines to take. If you feel like something is not working, try to figure out why it's not working, and have a good time while you're doing it. I would keep this if, like, the second dragon were a non-Cascade Bluffs land, but as stands, let's just go to 6. And we've got a Blood Moon. Very cool. We could maybe put back one of these 2 lands, since the Blood Moon is a bit worse if we don't get a second island into play. Sure. I think I can believe that. Is 4 bluffs too many? Maybe. Oh, I should have put Blood Moon back. Maybe it's too many. I think it's good, though. Casting Goldspan Dragon and like your mostly mono blue deck, just that second red source did feel like a cost the last time we played this deck. But just every time we drew Cascade Bluffs, our mana was perfect. And also we are playing a bunch of Archmage's Charms, and we are playing a lot of Archmage's Charms, and Cascade Bluffs, it filters your basic mountain into Charm, which seems very important against Swiftspear decks, because you want to fetch basic mountain a lot against them, and also Charm is good against Swiftspear decks anyways. So, it is a little bit worse with the Blood Moons, but the Blood Moons are also sideboard cards. They're not, at least in this version, are plan A for really any matchup, of course. So, those are my thoughts. It's possible you could play 3 instead. Yeah, I always play this island with Sprite Dragon. I think that they complement each other well. Yeah, I would say minimum 3. The last time we played this deck, only playing 2 copies felt like too few. I think I'm gonna snap opt here. Kill that Grazer. Do I think the new Izzet command would fit well into this deck? No. I think it might be okay, but I don't think that it's like a slam dunk for this kind of strategy. That's a card you play when, like, the 2 damage destroy and artifact modes are really good, and you're not playing black for Kolagon's command is probably how it's gonna end up being. Like, the loot 2 and make a treasure are kind of whatever. Although the treasure token does have synergy with Goldspan Dragon. But that's probably not enough synergy for me to, like, want to play over any number of Archmage's Charm, probably. Unless the metagame shifts to where the Shatter effect is really good. We're 2-0-4-0. How's Castle Vantress felt? It felt good. I've liked it. Well, keeping this. Yeah, I've assembled a paper collection during COVID, so that I will be able to play as many paper tournaments as I can when it's safe. Why are we using Goldspan over a different beater like Glorybringer? Does the 1 mana matter that much? Do you mean the 2 mana? Because Goldspan Dragon makes the treasure tokens tap for 2 mana. So when you play Goldspan Dragon and you have a Silumgar Scorn in your hand, you can always cast a Silumgar Scorn that turn, either if they remove the Goldspan Dragon or if they just, or if you get to attack with it. So it's really like Goldspan Dragon costs, 3 mana a lot of the time. Elvish Mystic, huh? Well, Elves probably can't beat the Madcap plan. They may have like a few outs to it. But with no Lightning Bolt to my hand, I'm a bit worried here. I like Elves. I think Elves is good. They did mill to 6. Yeah, I agree. I think Paper Magic is the best way to play. Maybe followed by streaming. Who knows? Warmaster's so good. Bottom this. Alright, I think I'm going to begrudgingly leave up Silumgar Scorn here. Is 8 dragons really enough to consistently turn on Scorn? I think so. I'm not 100% sure. It hasn't really felt like it's been too low a number, though. I kind of wanted the 9th one, but there's just no other good ones to play, I think. I mean, you could play another 5-mana dragon, but I think that's too many 5-drops to play 5. I think 4 is already kind of pushing it. And I think Goldspan Dragon is the best one. I think I'm gonna let this resolve. If they didn't have a 2-drop or land plus 3-drop, they wouldn't have left this back. Don't even need to reveal. No monkey in the format. If we draw like exactly Lightning Bolt and can play Sprite Dragon plus Bolts, I'm feeling okay. We did not draw exactly Lightning Bolt. I guess maybe we can go like Snapcaster. We can go like Snap Opt. Block here. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Pleasure doing business with you. Nicol Ravager. I mean, that requires you splashing another color, which really makes your Scorns and Charms so much worse. And also, Nicol Ravager doesn't even seem like it's that good of a card. Doesn't seem like it's that bad of a card.
Shake my claw.
But it's like, I don't know. I'm just not that interested. Alright, Lightning Bolts is good. Maybe a little too late. Oh, they have a 3-drop? Yikes. Feels really bad.
Can't tell if this is actual food or if this is a D&D part.
I guess we're dead, right? Yeah.
No.
Alright, on to game 2. It's hard to feel bad about losing to elves. Yeah, Damping Matrix does not shut off their almost anything. It's good against like exactly Azuri, which is not enough, I think. I think I don't want these Force of Negations. Can probably trim on Goldspan Dragon if we're bringing in the Platinum package, because that we could probably trim on Scorn too. Kind of down to cut Logic Knot as well. Matrixes for Heliod combo. Kind of a card I want to test out and see how good it is in that matchup. We'll probably just not play against it, but it seems like one of the best sideboard cards you can have. Spell Snare's kind of weak. No, they usually play like at least 8 2-drops. They play Dwynen's Elite and War Master, and potentially also like Clan Caller, Visionary, but at least 8. And if you ever get to resolve Spell Snare, it's great. Yeah, it also shuts off War Caller. That's true. I think I'm gonna mulligan this hand. I'll keep this one. Then I'm putting back Snapcaster. Gonna double Madcap Experiment them. Yeah, I got 3 different Cryptic Command arts from Mana Traders today. Brutal RNG. Fear my Lightning Bolts. They said I'll just take the 1-for-1 trade. Kind of funny that if we steal Llanowar Elves, that like guarantees the 4th mana for Madcap. Is Respicious Dragon 1 mana 3/3 flying with Goldspan? Respicious Dragon. That's not how you say that word. No, this card is not a 1 mana. I mean, it is a 1 mana dragon if you already have Goldspan out, but I think that's like that's a bit too much to ask for you to already have Goldspan out. You know what I mean? All right, I think we're just gonna Archmage's Charm the Llanowar Elves here to fight their mana a bit. Yeah, I really just don't think this game is gonna be about drawing too many cards with Archmage's Charm here. It's just like, I don't want to really draw cards, because if we draw Platinum Emperion, we just are in much worse shape. Whereas this is going to turn into a game of how many How many outs do you have? And I feel like it's kind of likely they just won't have 2 outs to this. Like, maybe they brought in 1 Reclamation Sage. I feel like 2 is certainly not all that likely. Well, the problem with fewer outs than counterspells is they do have caverns. So if they have 2 Reclamation Sages in their deck, they'll eventually get us. Although we can also draw Cryptic Command and, you know, hit them for 17 and then also draw a Bolt. And also, would they have even boarded in Reclamation Sage is a big deal. Is there a deck that plays Phyrexian Metamorph in Modern? I think some Karn sideboards want Phyrexian Metamorph. At least that's what I found. They're just casting the elves from the top of their library. I'm sure they know that the shaman doesn't do anything here. Oh, they were testing to see if it does anything, and they have no outs to Platinum Emperion for game 2. However, we're about to go to game 3. So they, like, how many outs do they have post board? Do you think maybe 2, 3 tops? Yeah, I think we should keep the plaquage in. I agree. I'm just trying to think if I don't want to. Yeah, I remember I played like 1 Rec Sage when I was playing Elves. I didn't even feel like it was very good. Let's mulligan this hand. Dude, we have a Lightning Bolt? This hand's great. I think I kind of wanted to put back Archmage's Charm. The opt's pretty good with the Sprite Dragon. So probably going to go turn 1 Bolt, turn 2 Dragon, then opt with Scorn up. Or maybe it's better to hold up Scorn on turn 3 because their 3-drops are so powerful. Nykthos, wow. Yeah, Nykthos was not a card I was playing. Alright, I'm gonna get a bit greedy in Dragon. I'm not even sure if this is greedy. Because it will kill them, not that. Or kind of quickly. And they also probably don't have another land in their hand, too. They could draw one, of course. Lock Dragon. Alright, well. As soon I did look at every legal dragon this morning, just to double check. The closest one was like the 3-mana 5/4 that can't attack unless you have 4 treasures. Yeah, I looked at that one. That card is also just not good enough in my opinion, sadly. Guess I want to get my second red. It's maybe a bit bad to get shocked though. Did I look at changelings? Yes. I don't think there are any good ones, but chat last time said, what about changelings, Spike? What about changelings? But chat did not tell me even one good changeling last time. I think that that's probably still going to be the case. Terran Mauler's D's? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really playable. Like, I think the bar for like a modern creature is really high, and like Sprite Dragon and Goldspan Dragon are both solid, but they're not even like the best modern creatures you could be playing. But like, I don't know. I cannot crack that strand. It's gonna be fine. Attacking them down to 1 and maybe a counterspell up. But also 8 dragons feels like enough. 8 dragons feels like enough to me. Well, now this attack is lethal. Thank you, Force of Vigor. They have 2 Force of Vigors? No, they just go out the honorable way. So this is what happened last time. Last time we were 3-0 with Blue-Red Dragons. We were on top of the world. Nothing could stop us. And then we got stopped and lost the next 2 rounds. So hopefully we can at least win one of the next 2. Would love to get a trophy with the deck. But Starkin Fireblood with a couple other dragons. Well, the couple of other dragons part is the problem. But I also do think 8 dragons is enough. I do think 8 dragons is enough to make Scorn reliable enough and a high enough payoff for them. We can keep this. It's a bit awkward to have Charm, Logic, not Prismatic Vista, but we do have 4 copies of Cascade Bluffs in the deck, and we are on the draw. Did I consider Spell Swindle or any creature that makes treasure? Spell Swindle is 5 mana, right? I don't think that you can afford that. The new Magnet to fetch a dragon with 5 treasures. The problem with the new Magnet to fetch a dragon with 5 treasures is the getting the 5 treasures part is really difficult. I found when I was brewing with Magda. Yeah, Gadrak I think has of all the dragons that we're talking about, I think I agree that Gadrak is the one that shows the most promise, and is still probably not good enough. You like Dragon Master Outpost? It's not. Dragon Master is not actually a dragon, right? The Mirror? No, not the Mirror because they're playing Bloodstained Mire. This is Blue-Red Prowess. Glad Nauseum, 11 months in a row. Are you still Glad Nauseum or are you Sad Nauseum after the bans? No Mutagenic Growth is pretty pog for us. I think I would just like to hold up Logic Knot here. Dude, yeah, if Crackling Drakewood is a dragon, I agree. I would love to play Crackling Drake in this deck. Yeah, for sure. What about your boy Shivan Dragon for old time's sake? One last ride with one last ride with Shivan Dragon. I think I'm just gonna hardcast Force of Negation and time walk my opponent. Opponent very likely has Stormwing Entity. It's also just pretty nice to use the Force in a spot like this. It doesn't really get much better. I'm just gonna pass back. Was really hoping to draw a land, but my opponent's also missing land drops, so it's hard to complain too much. Is Glorybringer an option? I think Glorybringer would be good, but the problem with cards like Glorybringer is I think that 5 mana dragons is the hard limit, in my opinion. For at least the way we've constructed the deck. If you play 3 mana Sarkhan, you can probably play 5, 6 if you're super greedy, or play a million Sarkhans. Man, it's still missing lands. Just firing this off now since we have to go to discard. And also, sometimes it's better to bolt on your turn anyways, because you just die if you lose the fight on their turn. If they sack their basic mountain here to save their Soulscar Mage, I think I'm thrilled. Maybe Gutshot. Yeah, it is Gutshot. Alright, I think this is fine. What about Take It? I don't think you're supposed to take it main phase, because I really think my opponent has a Stormwing Entity in their hand. So I'm going to leave up a counterspell for that, at least for now. Another good play would have been to draw a land, I think. If we draw a land next turn, I'm feeling okay. Yeah, and drawing end of turn there I think was better than stealing it. Just, we have the bolt for the Soulscar Mage. We're really wanting to find lands. What type of tea am I drinking? I'm drinking coffee. This is espresso that Esther brought me. She's a sweet lady. But I do drink a decent amount of tea too. Getting it back, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a good day today. I'd say Earl Grey is probably my favorite tea. Alright, we're going to find a land off of Opt. Thank you, Opt. Very cool. Yargle, Yargle, Yargle. Is this where we incite the mob and get wizards to errata drakes into dragons? I don't think I have that amount of clout yet. I don't think the mob is big enough to put enough pressure onto wizards to errata dragons or Crackling Drake into a dragon. Did Captain Picard actually like Earl Grey? Because Picard is my favorite. Please don't let the chat devolve, but Picard is my favorite Star Trek captain. Alright, this is game 1, so very unlikely that they have a counter spell. He likes Earl Grey, that's cool. Yeah, I like Captain Picard. I also like Janeway. I grew up on Star Trek Voyager, so my perception is definitely kind of skewed. Because I understand that the community as a whole, I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan, but I don't know. I really like Captain Janeway. I like Star Trek Voyager. That was my first Star Trek show. Z-Bug, thank you for gifting 5 subs. Very nice of you. Welcome to Black, Lots of Lamps, Tucker, Tismic, and Joe High. Just gonna pass with Cryptic up here. I have a friend named Sarah, who I haven't seen in a while, of course. But it was awesome. If she's got this Irish accent that comes out when she's drunk, and then we would just kind of like, whenever she get plastered, we'd ask her about Star Trek, and she'd just go on long rants about like Kirk versus Picard, and it was awesome. I very much look forward to doing that again. Well, Goldspan Dragon does just kind of feel like GG here. Yeah, Goldspan Dragon with counterspell backup. And maybe more counterspells if they target this. Pretty sick. Obviously very lucky our opponent just never found land number 3. They're thinking about casting a spell. Oh boy, this is not going to work out well for them. They're not going to Lava Dart my Goldspan Dragon, are they? Okay. Well, let's go let this trigger resolve. Brutal! A -1 mana dragon. Very cool. What's the draw to Goldspan Dragon, Spike? Need I say more? That being said, I think we want to cut the Sprite Dragons in this matchup, and because of that, probably go down to like 2 Scorns. Maybe less than that even. We'll see. Yeah, we can play like 1 Scorn, 1 Force of Negation, 2 Cryptics. I think I like the look of this. Cooldown max 5 months. These numbers are getting too high to count. Well, hopefully you figure out how to count the 6 in the next month or so. Welcome back, buddy. I kind of want to play the second Scorn. Opponent probably has Vapor Snag. I think that's okay. You don't need Madcap Experiment to be 4 mana win the game. I think it's fine in these kind of matchups to be 4 mana. You have to deal with this, and you have not very many outs. And we have counterspells too, you know. And a lot of times, like, they can deal with the first Platinum Emperion, can't deal with the second one. If I was afraid of a card like Vapor Snag or, you know, Pillage, I wouldn't be playing the Madcap package. But I have no fear. Kind of a medium 6-card hand. I think we couldn't have kept the 7. Just like 2 lands, expensive spells, and no cheap interaction was not a good formula. Not getting to Spell Snare is something this turn does stink. They're not playing their second land immediately, though. Do they only have a 1-lander? No. Light up the stage, sure. Stormwing Entity plus Lightning Bolts. Scary. So they do need a 3rd land in order to be able to deploy both of these. I guess we can at least Silumgar, Scorn, Stormwing Entity if they do go land entity here. So we draw Archmage's Charm or Madcap Experiment. I think I'm feeling okay. Great card. But what if they have Simian Spirit Guide, Spike? I don't have to entertain those questions anymore. Yeah, again, Archmage's Charm, Madcap Experiment, best draws. It's kind of unclear if we draw anything besides that, if it's going to be good enough. We can Logic Knot for 3, which doesn't counter the Swift Spear, so I think we just let it go. Smell Queller 11 months in a row. I should have to sing Treasured by Bruno Mars every time Goldspan Dragon resolves. I'm not a huge Bruno Mars fan. Not a big Bruno Mars fan, personally. Not super into pop music. There are some songs I like. But Esther really likes pop music, and so whenever she's driving, they all just kind of feels like all the songs drag into each other, you know what I mean? Well, we're dead. We can counter the Lava Dart to go to 1, but we played this instead of the Cascade Bluffs, so Madcap Experiment's not even an out. And we also can't even counter this. Okay. Good enough for me. Treasure is his best song. I don't even know if I know his what Treasure sounds like. I don't think I could hum a tune. How many channel points for Spike becomes a Bruno Mars fan? Well, I guess because it seems like the overlap between my fans and Bruno's fans seems to be pretty high. It's probably good for me to reach out and do a collab. Let's keep this. Why doesn't anyone play Pyroclasm anymore? It just doesn't line up that well against most of the decks, where it's kind of easy to make a prowess creature survive a Pyroclasm, and then they all usually play either Shadow or Scourge or Stormwing that gets around it too. How many cards does Spell Snare hit against them? I think it's 8. It hits Sprite Dragon and Manamorphose. And usually if Spell Snare has 8 targets, I'm like pretty happy to play it. Have I tried any other of my Cryptic Command decks yet? Tried all of them, yeah. I forgot how this works.
You stick it in that hole?
Esther, come on. Think about what you're saying.
What else am I going to say?
I don't know. Anything else. I had to help Esther with her freaking bracelet.
Thank you for my bracelet, honey. You got me. Ha 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 ha.
I'll go ahead and Silumgar score in this. Is there any advice you can give me to improve your win rate on MTGO? I've been slaughtered in leagues lately. So one big thing I think is if you're playing a deck and you like the deck, but you're getting slaughtered in leagues playing it, stop playing it. I know this is maybe sounds like obvious advice, but I think a big key is to just not just spew tickets and play points over and over again, playing a deck that's just not winning for you. Well, I think I am going to jam Madcap. I guess we'll see what we draw, right? I mean, we don't really have too many other options. It's not very likely to resolve, though. But the Goldspan Dragon does maybe help us cast Platinum Emperion. Oh. Resolving. Very cool. They got Vapor Snag, Spike. They got Vapor Snag. 4-0! 4-0. Let's get a prediction going if we can. Trophy. Well, I was playing for the trophy yesterday with Dimir Control. Let me keep this. Opponent's mulligan to 6. We got Force Spike in our hand, so I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, when you keep a hand like this, you're hoping that Lightning Bolt is good in this matchup. It's very easy for our opponent to be playing a deck that Lightning Bolt is not good against, and like we mulled to 5. What are channel points? What are channel points? Good question. Tapped Watery Grave. So blue-black control, not a great Lightning Bolt matchup. Good Force Spike matchup, though. Seems like a lot of decks are cold to Madcap. How many would need to be cold before we start putting in the main deck? A lot. It's definitely a plan where when it's dead, it's really dead. You know, you play against blue-black or blue-white control, mono-green Tron. It's like Amulet Titan. It's very dead in those kind of matchups. So my opponent playing the blue-black control deck. It's interesting. I don't know who I think is favored. I guess we're bolting that shark. End of turn. I think they're probably favored. They've got sharks, which give them an edge. Their removal is way more live than our removal. Our blood moons aren't that good. Land for Cryptic is nice. Cling to Dust is also just a gnarly card in this matchup. Not sure there's any point in bolting a 1/1. Well, if we don't bolt it, that 1/1's going to do like 10 damage to us. I think we're at the bottom there. And like, what else am I going to target with lightning bolts? Just them? The opponent's not going to like play Jace Vryn's Prodigy or something like that to give me a really good target. Alright, if we can resolve this Goldspan Dragon with double Silumgar Scorn, I think that's going to be our route to victory. Doing so does seem really difficult, though. I'm going to wait still. No, Athena's not nearby. She's being walked past her right now. Thank you for asking, though. Yeah, it seems like a bad matchup. I'm not 100% sure we're supposed to bolt that or force that, but I think that we are. So we do get to resolve Goldspan Dragon with Silumgar Scorn up at least. Dude, second Scorn. Okay. Problem is like their shark is just a 5/5, which is pretty tricky for us. We have some outs to it at least. Yeah. I was pretty sure I was gonna force that. I just wanted to think about it for a second. Just like if they were lower on mana somehow, and they were at lower on life, we could maybe just like let it resolve with 2 counter spells up. They're racing. Love for them to try to race here. Racing would be so good for us. Kind of bad if they have another Typhoon, I guess. All right. So we need to draw a Cryptic Command or Archmage's Charm to deal with the shark or a second bolt. They only have 3 cards in their hand. We have 2 counter spells. Yeah, looks like they're playing my list from yesterday. And they don't fight over that. They do have Castle Vantress up. Not a very good draw. Do we attack and trade Goldspan plus Bolt for a Shark here? Oh yeah, my Sinkhole is also fine. Yeah, I think we have to take this trade. They just have the long game advantage here. Kind of nice that we can pay for... I guess they don't play Mana Leak, though. Clean to dust on my Silumgar Scorn. Guess that's better than castling. How many cards is a Scry 2 worth, Spike? Okay, they drop to 4. They're going to castle in their upkeep. Huge sign of weakness here. Huge sign of weakness. Okay, bye. Have a good day, sweetheart. Definitely, if we draw... We need to draw like another counterspell. Snapcaster Mage. Dragon. 2 lands in a row feels terrible. Yeah, it is a good thing that we're getting around any copies of Fatal Push. If you 5-0, you'll buy this deck right now. Hell yeah. They didn't upkeep Scry. That I didn't even see it where they Scryed last turn. 2 cards in the bottom. Second Bloodchief's Thirst. Yikes. Alright, they're at 5. Where were you last turn, Opt? This is getting Fatal Pushed, but I think I'm just jamming here. If this does hit them, another Goldspan Dragon is lethal. You've seen a lot more Blue-White Stoneblade with less Sharks and more Snapcasters and Coil. What are my thoughts? I'm not a big fan of Mana Leak plus Path, and because of that I don't like Snapcaster. I really like Anthonice plus Mana Leak and Blue-White Shark Blade, and I think if you play less Snapcasters, you play more Sharks. Has been where I've been at with the deck for a while. I'll take a draw step. Yeah, Fiery Islet is bad in this deck. We are playing the Castle Vantress, just 1 though. Archmage's Charm? Flood, flood, flood. Where are my Mystic Sanctuaries? Excuse me. Am I bringing in Blood Moons? I don't think so. They're pretty good against Blood Moon. Bad matchup. I think I'm going to choose to be on the draw, though. Yeah, this feels like a matchup where drawing is better. Like, they just don't have things that they're trying to tap out for. They have, like, if they're playing my list, they have 1 Jace the Mind Sculptor. What do you think about Frantic Inventory over Opt? I think the 1 mana is is really helpful with Sprite Dragon. I think Sprite Dragon's really not playable unless you have at least the 4 Ops. Like, this is the worst Sprite Dragon deck I've ever played. Usually have a very low curve with Dragon. Frantic Inventory would make that worse, I think. Would Shark Typhoon be good in this deck? Maybe, yeah. I'm a big fan of that card. Wait, so with 4 Path and 3 Snaps and Blue-White, no Leak? Like, maybe 1 Leak, 2 Logic Knot. But I just prefer Anthonice and Leak and Logic Knot. I think we can keep this on the draw. IDK, they have a lot of non-basics in Castle. Yeah, they also have a lot of basics. And they can very easily play around the Blood Moon. I mean, it looks like they're playing my list from yesterday, so... I think it's good. I mean, it's also not like Blood Moon is a ley line that just like gets teleported into play, either. Yeah, I chose to be on the draw. My opponent doesn't have things that they're tapping out for. They don't have They don't have Narsets. They don't have Teferi Time Ravelers. They're just on all this like 1-for-1 removal, and I think it's good to be on the draw in this kind of spot. And I will also say that it's not so. One thing is it's one thing why I like being on the draw in these kind of spots. It's less about the card advantage and more about if you mulligan on the play, you are in terrible shape. You're in really, really bad shape if you have to take a mulligan on the play. Mulliganing on the draw is just not that big a deal. Yeah, Serum Visions is pretty medium right now. I would say it's not that good, yeah. It's not terrible. Land would be really good. There we go. Being on the draw feels really good right about now. Maybe this Castle Vantress will take over the game. Again, my opponent has very few threats to tap out for and punish us. So I like just resolving the 2-for-1 here. We would have to speed up if they have their Jace or if they want a Hardcast Typhoon. I'll keep a Charm too. Yeah, it's fine. In before Hardcast Shark. I mean, Hardcast Shark would be really good for us here. Land would be good. I know we just kept it on land. I think it was fine. They can make a 4/4 Shark if they have one here, but we can steal it with Charm. Feels bad. Is it not correct to go Bolt into Snap Bolt again? I think Snap opting is way better when we're missing lands. I don't think Snap Bolting would have solved our problems. I will Bolt here, since if we miss our land again, we have to go to discard. So using the mana now I think is good. So it looks like a Shark that we get to steal with Charm, which is a big deal. Big swing in our favor. Oh no, we don't have Charm. We got it countered. Fuck. Well, I guess I'm going to bounce draw. I know we don't have Force Up. Is this donation or brew? This is a brew. This is something we brewed up on stream last week that I like. Do we have to force Cling to Dust? I think we do. I think this Cling to Dust just takes over the game if we don't. Opponent only has 3 cards in their hand. I think we keep fighting. Feels pretty bad. Yeah, their deck seems like it lines up really well against ours. Great draw. Apparently only has 1 card in their hand, but they still have the Cling to Dust. They've got the Snapcaster in play. They've got the mana advantage. Gonna have to get really lucky from here. Could be step 1 to getting really lucky. If my opponent Cling to Dust, we can Cryptic, and then we can also dispute any counterspell, but that's not Drown. Yeah, I think we took the right line. Their deck definitely lines up well against ours. Yeah, Logic Knot can sometimes beat the Cling to Dust. Scry 2 worth how many cards here? 1,000 cards? I'm looking for like Snapcasters and Archmage's Charms. I'm just gonna bottom. That was worth a card. I think I am going to Cryptic this. I just really want to get this Cryptic out of my hand. And one nice thing is if they fight back and we need to use Logic Knot because they have Drown in the lock, Logic Knot at the very least will counter the Cling to Dust draw if they somehow have 2 counter spells. Maybe if we draw Goldspan Dragon, we're actually doing okay. Because Goldspan Dragon can... Logic Knot can protect the Goldspan Dragon, and then we'll have Scorn up after we resolve the dragon. They could have like a Dead Fatal Push. They put 2 cards in the bottom. They could also just have a Typhoon and we can never win. It's a good draw. Yeah, maybe actually now we really hope that they have Shark Typhoon. Thought Scours themselves, mills over into the story, and Shark Typhoon. How many sharks is that? That's 2 used. They have 2 more if they're playing my list from yesterday, and so far it does look like they're playing my list from yesterday. I think we still need to draw 2 end of turn, especially now that they have Field of Ruin for my Castle Vantress. I know saving it for the shark is nice, but we also have like a lot more charms in the deck, and Snapcasters to flashback charm to draw in 2. And they also don't definitely have a shark. We'd also just draw the 2 lands. Just draw 2 lands. Yeah, Drown does look at the graveyard upon resolution. So Logic Knot is also pretty relevant against that. So I think we do just go ahead and Logic Knot our whole graveyard here. Maybe we leave in Archmage's Charm. It's kind of close. I think I'll just exile the whole yard. We're pretty desperate. Feels bad. Yeah, I think just turning off their drowns in that spot was good. Obviously, they targeted themselves with Thought Scour. It's a bad sign. Then they scry 2. Put 2 cards on top. Well, probably can't beat 2 cards on top here, right? Snap push. Well, maybe I wasn't supposed to scry there. Yeah, maybe I just needed to rip the Goldspan Dragon. They have no cards in their hands. Wait, they put 2 cards on top and they shuffled? Weird. Yeah. Yeah, I think we were not supposed to scry. That may have been like... I mean, we're still like losing the race to Cling to Dust though. Yeah, we can still win. It's not like we're very behind, but we're not 0%. We can just draw lightning bolts, and they could have nothing. I guess they have to Cling to Dust at the very minimum. Do they not? Wait, if they have no other land, okay, they do have the 6th land. I couldn't remember how many I was playing yesterday. So does Goldspan number 2? No, we don't have enough mana. They're just gonna gain 3 life right now. Okay. Alright, see what we draw. It has to be like Cryptic or Snapcaster. I block. Main phase scry 2. Put 2 cards on top. Into 2/2 Shark, into Drown my Goldspan Dragon. That's what it looks like. Or Cling to Dust into Drown. Oh, they can't Drown my Dragon. I think that they put Drown on the top and they're trying to Cling into Drown, and Drown just doesn't kill my Dragon here. is the read that I am getting. They can't into the story either. Yep. Good draw. Dead to a shark. Rest in peace, Castle Vantress. My kingdom for a desolate lighthouse. Although I guess that turns off drown. They went to combat pretty quickly there. I should be holding these, I guess. We're just not winning with top decks like these, just same with the last game. Feels bad. Matchup is definitely tough. The Dimir control deck's looking good, and I wanted to play some more of that today. I think that's what we'll just do next. But dragons feel good. We're now 7-3 with dragons. We've got a good 75 together. It's possible you don't need these damping spheres. I'd want to test the helium.